Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you are new here, hey, what's up? I'm Hannah. I am a junior at Belmont University, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, majoring in entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to be talking about all of my top college tips for studying, for making good grades, for feeling organized and productive. All the tips related to schoolwork. Here they are. I know I'm not in the hardest major ever, but business, it's still time consuming, and thankfully I've been able to say I've gotten all A's except one semester I got a B, but pretty much on the dean's list every semester so far. This is my 6th semester in college. So if that gives any weight to these tips, there you go. Now let's get right into them. Number one is one that my professors always say, and maybe it gets kind of annoying, you hear them say it so much, but it is to take notes by hand. So there's science behind physically writing your notes or writing something down. It helps you to remember it more. That's why I highly recommend writing down your goals every month. But also taking handwritten notes has always helped me. That's what I've always done. I switch between taking them in a physical notebook, old-fashioned, and then switching between taking them on my iPad. I find for online classes, I like having my iPad next to me, but I don't like having the electronics on my table with me when I'm in an in-person class, and I just think it's the best way to take notes. My next tip is to do your studying while you're in class. This may sound weird, but it also has to do with what type of learner you are, but I am honestly awful at studying, okay? It is really hard for me to focus and just look through my notes, or I'll try rewriting my notes, or like looking through vocab words before a test. That is really, really hard for me to stay focused and to do. Honestly, I maybe only study for like 30 minutes and then I get bored. So what I try to do is I try to really learn the material while I'm in class. So while I'm in class, I'm completely focused. I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm not taking notes on my computer, so it's not like I can be multitasking. Like, I am in the lecture, trying to ask questions, trying to soak up other people's questions. I do my learning and my studying all while in class, so that when I leave that classroom, I know the material as much as I can, and if I have questions about it, I'll email my professors afterwards. That way, when it's time for a test to come around, I can just quickly learn the vocab words, little things I know will be on the test that I have to memorize, but I'm not trying to reteach myself the content because I wasn't paying attention in class. So all that to say, basically pay attention in class and try to really master the content while the professor is there talking to you. Also, hopefully you have good professors who are doing this. Now getting into like productivity, studying, doing homework, all of that, I like to start with the quicker tasks to kind of get me in the flow of working. So whether I need to send an email or whether I need to text my group project about something coming up, I need to work on a Google slide. Like, I work on the simpler, quick tasks that maybe only take 5 to 10 minutes, and I do a few of those to kind of get me in a productive mindset, make me feel like I'm accomplishing stuff, checking things off my to-do list. And then after a few of those tasks is when I get into my harder stuff, like maybe sitting down, writing a paper. To go along with that, I like to break down my bigger tasks, like say writing a paper, into smaller tasks that can be accomplished in 30 minutes. So there's a lot of parts to writing a paper. You have to do research, you have to create the bibliography / works cited. I always like to do a outline. I like to write my intro paragraph, write my thesis statement. All these things I break into 30-minute increments, and so I'm not sitting down and like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take me 4 hours to do this paper start to finish. It's like, no, earlier in the day, I'll do 30 minutes of research, and then 30 minutes of writing my introduction paragraph and thesis statement, and then doing more research. I'll break it up into 30 minutes because, going on to my next tip, I like to do tasks in 30-minute increments and make sure to take a break in between then as well. I know it's easy to get sucked into stuff and sit at your desk for hours on end, but I find, especially with online school where I'm in a class, so after one class is done, I immediately stand up, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, walk around my apartment, walk outside if possible, but I will physically stand up once I'm off of a Zoom class. So basically, work for 30 minutes, or after you're done with each class, take a walk, stand up, like you would do if you were normally in school as well. When a class is done, we get up, we walk out. Do that same thing, but in your Zoom classes. Next tip is to just find your go-to study environment. This is an easy one. It's fun, right? You just have to figure out where you can be your most productive, where you're least distracted. Some students' favorites are the library. I think I've used my school's library a total of like 2 times. It's not super nice compared to the rest of Belmont's campus, but people like library, just your desk at home, maybe your living room. I like to sit on the floor, like when I really need to get things done. I would do this in my freshman dorm too. I would set up a lap desk and like sit on the floor to do just my math homework, because that was hard for me. So I would sit on the floor for math homework and like be focused, but that's just me. Or some people like a coffee shop. I do think coffee shops or somewhere that was super busy on campus can be a poor study spot because you can be easily distracted. People coming in, saying hi, passing students that it can be very distracting, so try to find a place that limits your distractions. My next tip is for when scheduling your classes, and this may be obvious, but maybe not, and that is just to try to condense your class days when possible, or to schedule your classes when you are most awake. So for some people, they like the evenings, they do their classes at night, after 2 p.m. Some people, they like their classes as early as possible, like 8 a.m., or maybe you're like in the middle at like 10 or 11, you like your classes, or to be done before lunchtime. Think about when in your day you're most awake and attentive, and try to plan your classes then, because again, we want to be really focused in our classes and actively learning while we're in class. And also, if you can do this, it depends on your school and how they schedule, but try to condense your class days. So my first semester of sophomore year, I only had classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so it was amazing to have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to catch up on homework, to do my personal work, all of this kind of stuff. I haven't had that schedule since then, which is sad, but I'm trying to condense my work days as much as possible. For example, today's Wednesday, and I decided to pack on an 8-week night class and 2 other normal classes into my Wednesdays, so I would have more free time in the rest of my week. This tip I cannot stress enough if you want to seem attentive and you want your professor to like you. Wake up at least an hour before class. This is going to be not only for you, because you're going to be awake, you can get a breakfast in, you can feel good and maybe move your body, whatever it may be, do something you like in the morning. So have that little time for you in the morning. But also your professors, I really think can notice. I see a lot of professors, they'll look at someone who's like half asleep or still in their pajamas or like laying on their desk, and they'll just kind of like roll their eyes and look really annoyed if the students aren't being super like attentive. So I really think your professors can tell if you're like prepared for class, or if you just woke up and rolled out of bed. Also on Zoom, they can probably tell as well. Not saying you have to get like fully ready every day and dressed up for class, but just look like you maybe brushed your hair or splashed some water on your face, brush your teeth, have some food in your stomach to give you energy, whatever you need to do. But I just think that helps so much. I actually like to wake up 2 hours before class because I like to feel prepared. I do like to get ready for class. I like to do my makeup usually, and like some mornings I will like to do YouTube work beforehand to get some stuff out of the way, or I like to do my devotions and have my coffee. A new morning routine will be coming soon, but yeah, that's just what I like to do, and it's stuck with me since freshman year, and I think it's really helped me. Another tip I have, especially if you are a lower classman, is to really look into if your school offers discounted summer or even like late spring classes. So my semesters usually end in April, and my school does something called a Maymester, which is just the month of May. It's like shortened classes, and they have summer classes. I've never taken summer classes, but the Maymester classes I've done twice. One last year, one my freshman year, and they're discounted too. It's a third of tuition. I've fulfilled 7 credit hours total in that May, and all of that was a third of the price of what it would be if I took them during a normal semester. Or you can try to do them at a local community college, which will be way cheaper than like a 4-year college, in the States. So a lot of colleges work with their local community colleges, so you can take like an accounting class over the summer at a community college for less, but the credits still transfer to your university. So see what you can do, talk to your counselor about it, see how you can save money and get more credit hours done so you're not as stressed out during the semester, and so you don't become a 5th year senior. This kind of goes back into like learning during your class time, but really focus on learning the material and not just focusing on the grades. I think you'll feel way more fulfilled when you graduate college. Even if you have C's, but you feel like you remember stuff, you feel like you learned, you feel like you made good connections with your professors, made connections with other people through your school. I think you'll feel more fulfilled with college if you really focus on learning the material and not just on the physical grade. I mean, that's really what we're paying for. We're not paying for a grading scale. We're not paying all this money for a report card. We're paying for the education. And I know it can be hard. I struggle with this, but really trying to understand the material and not just memorize it the night before you have a test so you can get a good grade. I've said this tip in a few of my college videos before, but it is to make a friend in each class. So helpful. You don't have to be best friends with this person, but just whoever you sit next to on the first day or second day of class, be like, hey, my name's Hannah. Like, what's your major? Talk a little bit and just be like, hey, is it okay if I get your GroupMe account or your phone number just in case, you know, I missed class, I can text you what we did or vice versa. And I'm sure they'll say yes, because seriously, there'll be a time when you can't make it to class. Obviously that's a big tip, is go to class, but I'm not even mentioning that because I hope that's a given. But there'll be times when you're sick, when you miss something, when you forget about a homework assignment and you have questions about it. So having someone in the class that you can message besides your professor is so helpful. And I've done it every day. And also in my notebook, I write what their name is once they tell it to me. So the next day in class, I could be like, oh, hey, Sarah, like, how's it going? And like, remember their name. And I just think that means so much to them that, you know, someone remembers their name. It helps you if you are putting, you know, their number in your phone, something like that. And my last tip isn't related to school, but it's just find a way to de-stress. I just a few days ago posted a TikTok about how, you know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that life is not just about school, and like gave some ways to de-stress, and that's been doing pretty good. It's got like over 50,000 views. Love my TikTok, check it out. That just showed me that how much of a reminder we need to not always focus on school or work or, you know, growing our success. A lot of times we just need to relax and de-stress. So figure out what that is for you. Maybe it's hanging out with friends, maybe it's trying a new restaurant, maybe it's working out, maybe it's reading, maybe it's watching TV. Whatever your way is to de-stress, put that into every single day. My ways to de-stress are eating good and healthy foods for me, working out, and watching TV. Okay, those are the ways I like to de-stress, so I try to do that every single day. And it's just what really helps me. And really doing them a lot on the weekend, not working out on the weekends, but like TV, friend time, adding all of that into my weekends. So guys, that was my video on all of my best tips for college. As I continue to go in college, I would be happy to do more of these. You know, I still have a year and a half to go, so maybe at the end of senior year, we'll have some more tips for you guys, but that is what I can think of for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment below where you go to school, what grade you're in. I'd love to chat it up with you guys. And yeah, I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye, peace out.